A Republican congressman just introduced a new constitutional amendment to allow Donald Trump to serve for a third term.
Donald Trump's talking about a third term again.
In an interview with NBC this weekend, he said that he is not joking about running for a third term, and that there are methods to go around the Constitution which currently prohibits more than 2 terms.
If that orange crusty blowhole thinks he can run for a third term, then Obama should just throw his hat in the ring. If nothing, just to fuck with him. But I mean, yeah, why not? I mean, he would crush him at the polls. But, don't squash my dream. A girl can hope. Let me have it.
Barack Obama could be our next president. I'm not kidding. This can actually happen.
If Donald Trump is allowed to run for a third term under the Republican ticket, I think Obama should be allowed to run for a third term under the Democratic ticket. What do you guys think? Yes? No? Maybe? I think so. And not in like a get out way, but I will vote for him a third time.
In fact, most of the things that the Trumpies like about Trump, Obama did better. We'll go with unemployment. Obama did better. Economy. Obama did better. Deportations. Obama did better. Obama was able to get across a health care bill. Trump can't. Obama did it better. Obama was able to get tax cuts for the low and middle class. Trump for the upper class, for the rich. Obama did it better.
Y'all keep talking about wanting Trump to run for a third term, not knowing if y'all open up that can of worms, Obama's not going to have a choice. Michelle's not going to let him have a choice because all of us motherfuckers are going to be at his fucking door. Hey, we need you. Bruh. Y'all want Trump to run for a third term? Okay, Obama's his opponent. Obama's his opponent, because I can guarantee you who's going to win that election. Ain't no fucking fraud or Russia intelligence needed.
So I heard Trump is selling 2028 merch, right? So, yeah, you want to do that? You want to do that? We're going to do this. Let's go. We got the antidote. We got the antidote right here. Let's go. Let's do it. Because you want to run again when you know you're not supposed to run another term. You already run 2 terms. So might as well let Obama run another term too, right? It's only right since you want to run another term. But let's go. We're going to summon Obama. We're going to bring in Obama. We're going to have another president who's in office two times. Now we're going to have him a third. Since you want to have him a third, since y'all want to have him for another third term, we're going to have him. And let's see how far we go. Let's see. Let's do this. Because I'm ready, bro. I'm ready. I'm ready for this man to come back again. We've been dying to have this man become president again. So let's go.
Trump has made no secret of the fact that he wants to change the Constitution and run for a third term. But he wouldn't just automatically win if he ran for a third term. He'd have to run against a Democratic challenger. And if the Constitution no longer prohibited a third term, who would the Democrats' best option be? Barack Obama. And a poll was just released that showed this hypothetical matchup, Trump versus Obama. Who do you think won? Unsurprisingly, Obama wins by 6%, which is actually a blowout margin. And if you look closer at the data, Obama does this by 2 things. 1 is by winning independents by about 20%, and 2 is by stealing a bunch of votes from people who voted for Trump in 24 but would vote for Obama in 28. And this all adds up because in 2016, there were between 6 and 9 million people who voted for Obama in 2008 and 2012 and then voted for Trump in 2016. So in my opinion, change the Constitution. Good luck. The best modern-day American president with the highest approval rating of any living president against an 82-year-old Donald Trump. I like our chances.
I genuinely miss Obama being president.
I miss when he was in office and it just felt like we had hope.
Do you think President Trump can run for a third term? Should he, and would you support him?
Well, as a Republican, I and many would not be open to the idea of Barack Obama running for a third term. And so I think the folks have to be careful here if you're starting to question the constitutionality of this.
He's scared. He talking about BO like he Voldemort. He talking about Barack Obama like he shook. I know Republicans be in a group chat talking about Barack Obama like he think he Tupac, right? This is very interesting. That's Representative Mike Lawler, I believe, from New York. And instead of leading with the fact that Donald Trump and this whole 3-term nonsense that he's thrown out there, in my opinion, to really get the smokescreen off the signal stuff, right? He leads with his fear, his deep, dark fear of Barack Obama possibly getting a third term. That's the deterrence here, right? And I appreciate his honesty. I really, truly do. But God damn it, why you boys so shook? Now, this goes to why I think, Barack Obama, not to his fault, is a reason we're in this. Meaning that I don't think Barack Obama did anything to these people. But I don't know if it's the racial element mixed with the fact that I guess they perceive him as extremely progressive. If you ask most leftist people, they don't see Barack Obama. They see Barack Obama more as a centrist type of person, politician. But their fear and their freaking obsession with that time ran them to this orange clown as a savior, right? Not only the politicians, but as well as the voters, right? The white voters that Barack Obama is the reason why we're all divided. No, he's one of the most popular presidents ever. And for whatever reason, you lot are, trying to twist it or something else. But anyway, I say all that to say, don't worry, guys. We're all safe. We have a fail-safe in place. And if you want to try it, try it. Niggas want to go 3-term for 3-term, try it. Give it a shot if you dare. Ball up top.
The media has been buzzing all day about Trump saying that running for a third term would be legal. The real media buzz should be about when Obama will declare his candidacy for 2028. Do you also agree that he should wear his tan suit for all 1,460 days of his third term?
He's going to get a third term. So Trump 28, Trump is going to be president in 28. And people just ought to get accommodated with that.
So what about the 22nd Amendment?
There's many different alternatives. At the appropriate time, we'll lay out what the plan is. But
at the appropriate time, they're going to tell you. So just sit back, relax, and wait for them to screw you.
Trump is a vehicle. I know this will drive you guys crazy, but he's a vehicle of divine providence. He's an instrument. He's very imperfect. He's not churchy, not particularly religious. But he's an instrument of divine will, and you can tell this of how he's pulled this off.
See how he slipped up there and said, you can tell by the way he's pulled this off? It's Bannon and the ones behind Trump that are pushing this through. Trump is, as he just said, a vehicle, not of divine will, but of their regime, of their policies, of what they want to push down America's throats.
We need to finish what we started.
Again, we, Steve Bannon, Stephen Miller, and the cronies behind Trump that are pulling the strings. They're the ones that are going to continue to finish what they started. And just know, they're not joking. This is real. They will push him in for a third term. So, I don't know. Let's start Obama 2028, I guess.
There's this other story. I know it's hypothetical right now, but if you were allowed for some reason to run for a third term, is there a thought that the Democrats could try to run Barack Obama against you?
I'd love that.
For his third term?
Boy, I'd love that. That would be a good one. I'd like that.
It's, first of all, he can't be president again. That doesn't mean he won't try. But even for people who didn't vote for him, that doesn't appeal to me. That this is the smartest thing you can say. So, look.
I mean, honestly, I was never worried that he was going to run for 3 terms. I mean, he's like the master troll. I mean, he must love just Trump 28 throwing out the hats, and it's just meth. And then if he does try to run for a third term, that makes Obama eligible. And then, isn't America really wanting that to finally settle that anyway? Who actually wins? Because I don't know, but that's just not going to happen. But
yeah, but I mean, first of all, he could do it. I mean, when I talked to him, he did, and I've heard him say it on other occasions, but he did say vaguely, there's a way you could do it.
Mr. Mark, is President Trump eligible to run for president again in 2028?
Senator, without considering all the facts and looking at everything, depending on what the situation is, this to me strikes as more of a hypothetical of something that could be.
It's not a hypothetical. Has President Trump been elected president twice?
President Trump has been certified the president of the United States 2 times.
Is he eligible to run for a third term under our Constitution?
I would have to review the
All I need to
actual
tell
wording
you
of
is
it.
the language of the constitutional amendment that makes it clear that no, he is not eligible to run for a third term. Anybody else brave enough to say that the Constitution of the United States prevents President Trump from seeking a third term? Anybody willing to apply the Constitution by its plain language in the 22nd Amendment? Nobody.
He says the Constitution gives me certain rights, and I demand that I be given these rights. Get the hell out.
You do not feel like you need guardrails.
No, I don't need guardrails. I don't want guardrails. Guardrails would hurt us. They say it's not constitutional, but I think it would be good.
Don't you need to uphold the Constitution of the United States as president?
I don't know.
You don't know? He doesn't know? Upholding the Constitution was like 90% of your oath of office, okay? And the other 10% was your name. Trump's blatant disregard for the Constitution is the most disturbing thing I've ever seen. And I've seen Rachel Dolezal's OnlyFans. But you don't even need to hear any of that to know he plans to stay in office. All you need to hear is him talking about his big, beautiful ballroom. Do you seriously think he's building that for the next guy? You think he likes J.D. Vance that much? You think he's doing that level of solid for Marco Rubio? No. On January 20th, 2029, Trump is going to go into that ballroom with a stack of hustlers and a crate of Big Macs and lock the door from the inside, okay? But I'm not asking Trump not to run for a third term. Trump's going to Trump. What I'm asking is for the Republican Party to be honest for once and tell us whether or not you want this man to be king, okay? I'm tired of edging dictatorship. I'm getting red, white, and blue balls, people, okay? Waiting to find out if our democracy still matters. And do it soon, because right now America is standing at a fork in the road, and we need to know which path to choose, or if we just stick the fork in us because we're done.
Trump versus Obama. 2028. Watch this.
There's this other story. I know it's hypothetical right now.
Okay.
But if you were allowed for some reason to run for a third term, is there a thought that the Democrats could try to run Barack Obama?
You know they are.
I'd love that.
For his third term?
I'd love that. That
What you say, Trump?
Be a good
You'll
one.
love
I like
that, but hey, he said, come on
people
with
are
it.
asking me to run, and there's a whole story about running for a third term. I don't know. I never looked into it.
I don't know about that.
There's
Hold
a
on
way
now.
you can do it, but I don't know about.
Woo, hey, man, hey, I just want to know, though, if this was able to happen, and damn what he said, because trust me, I promise you, he didn't look into it. But hey, regardless, if this was able to happen, and I already heard rumors that they are trying, Mega's definitely trying to do this, and I heard that the Democrats said, hey, if they do this, we're going to get Obama. But I want to know, if this happened, who do y'all think would win? I mean, I'm just seriously. I mean, I already heard Michelle say she don't want Obama to win again. She don't want him to do it again. She thinks that we should keep getting new brains, new ideas, new people to come in there because the world is changing that much and that fast. I kind of agree with her. But if that was possible, who do you think would win? Let me know in the comments.
Trump obviously doesn't care what the Constitution says about running for a third term because no matter what the issue is, voting rights, birthright citizenship, war, tariffs, Trump never cares about the Constitution.
So MAGA is trying to say that Obama said that he'd run for a third term too, to try to justify what Trump did. Let's go back and actually hear what he said, huh? Have a good day.
I have to also say that Africa's democratic progress is also at risk when leaders refuse to step aside when their terms end. Now, let me be honest with you. I do not understand this. I am in my second term. It has been an extraordinary privilege for me to serve as the President of the United States. I cannot imagine a greater honor or a more interesting job. I love my work. But under our Constitution, I cannot run again. I can't run again. I actually think I'm a pretty good president. I think if I ran, I could win. But I can't. So there's a lot that I'd like to do to keep America moving, but the law is the law. And no one person is above the law, not even the president.
Miss Obama, I do. Like his politics or not, you gotta admit, he was the best at the job of being president. The affability, the charm, the man looks good in a suit. Yes, and it sucks for him. He can only do the job he was best at for 8 years. Let him be president other places. The way athletes go to other teams. Dude, the Jets were pumped. They were like, we got Aaron Rodgers. Imagine if Uzbekistan was like, we got Obama? Oh my God. He is going to turn this franchise around. We're going to get Disney Plus.
My daughter was just watching a documentary and I was like cleaning and I just heard at the end Barack Obama started talking and I started sobbing uncontrollably because remember when shit was normal?
I think I finally understand why Donald Trump hates Barack Obama and Michelle Obama so much, and it really has nothing to do with that White House Correspondents' Dinner years ago. It's that America still loves, the world still loves Barack and Michelle Obama. See, last night was an NBA All-Star game and, well, the Obamas were there, the camera panned to them, and the crowd cheered. Everybody stood up. They got a standing ovation to the point that President Obama stood up and waved at the crowd, which led to more cheering. Meanwhile, Donnie Boy Trump shows up at sporting events and half to 3/4 of the crowd boos, to the point that the same media networks have to put clapping and cheering tracks over it to keep his supporters from attempting to boycott them. So, Donald Trump really hates the Obamas because the world still loves them, as the world has always despised him.
As soon as I put them in the room and I turned around, Obama was standing there, and I was like, "Hey, sir, this is the family of the fallen," and I named them, and he sat down and he let that family cry on his shoulder for a solid 20 minutes, and that doesn't sound like a lot, but 20 minutes of a U.S. president's time one-on-one like that is a lot, right? What I saw was just a human being being compassionate, sympathetic for a family who just had a huge loss. Because there was no cameras in that room. There was nothing there, that he ever,
My daughter was just watching a documentary and I was like cleaning and I just heard at the end Barack Obama started talking and I started sobbing uncontrollably because remember when shit was normal?
Prediction that Trump will run and will have a third term, either as a vice president or in wartime a president can go for a third term. Is this going to be successful, and what can we expect from the midterms?
Yeah, so I think that the powers that be, and they're coming to recognition that for all of Trump's problems, he is a useful idiot. You need a guy like him in order to transition America from a democracy to a technocracy, okay? So all the elite feel this way where, the democracy doesn't really work. If democracy really worked, we wouldn't have Donald Trump as president. And then, like not only once, but twice, okay? So in 2016, the elite basically came to the conclusion that we can't really trust the people to vote the way we want them to vote. The people aren't really obedient, okay? So the solution to this is to create a technocracy where you have an AI god and where it's an AI surveillance state and where engineers and bureaucrats and technocrats basically run America to the benefit of the American people, of course, just as they do in China, right? Come to China, look how great things are, right? So they're trying to, basically create China. Like China is the future that they want to emulate. So but you need a scapegoat. But you need a scapegoat in order to make this transition happen, right? Who do you blame for destroying democracy? Who do you blame for taking away people's freedoms, including this AI god, you blame Donald Trump, okay? So you put up with him as long as it takes to make this transition from democracy to technocracy. And this is a process that might take 8 years, 10 years, who knows, okay? But it's actually like 2 years. And that's also why Trump is building his ballroom, okay? So I'm not sure if you looked into the ballroom, but it's clearly an AI data center underneath the ballroom that's protected by executive privilege, meaning Congress can never ever ask what's going on underneath the ballroom, okay? So they're basically trying to create God under that ballroom.
Right.
Right? But so you need someone to actually be the scapegoat, to be the tool to make this transition happen, so historians will say, it was this guy, Donald Trump, who destroyed American democracy, right? So that's why I think he'll get a third term.
Trump revealed today that he believes he has had 3 terms as president. He made this post about everybody should take a cognitive test, which is actually just the dementia test. I just made a post about how ridiculous this whole thing, but one thing that's important to note is that he says, I took the exam 3 times during my 3 terms as president. 3 terms as president? What is he thinking? He's not well. I mean, can his kids please step in and do something and take care of the man? Take care of the country? It's crazy.
Hello, everyone, and welcome back to today's program. I hope that wherever you are watching from, you are all having a very good day. Before I share my own perspective, I would like to sincerely thank all of you for taking the time to watch the previous video in full. It is because of your support that I have the opportunity to present my personal viewpoint on what we have just seen. I know today's content is relatively long, so I will try to keep my remarks brief, get straight to the point, and focus on the most important issues. In my view, what the MAGA movement appears to be trying to promote at the moment seems to run counter to the core spirit of the United States Constitution. This is a serious matter. It should not be taken lightly, nor should it be treated as something normal in political life. Any effort to change presidential term limits must be examined with the utmost caution. I have always believed that the rule limiting a president to a maximum of 2 terms exists for a very clear reason. It is the result of years of debate, study, and consensus among people who genuinely wanted to protect democracy. This rule was not created randomly or arbitrarily. Rather, it is an important principle designed to prevent power from becoming too concentrated in the hands of one individual. When people see a president paying too much attention to the interests of the wealthy, the elite, and issues that benefit himself, it is entirely understandable that many would feel concerned if that person wanted to remain in power for another term. It causes the public to question whether the interests of ordinary working people are still being placed first. After all, everyone understands that the majority of Americans belong to the working class and the middle class. If public policies mainly serve a small group of the wealthiest people in society, while the majority of citizens are left behind, then that is certainly an issue that deserves serious reflection. That is why, whenever discussions arise about the possibility of a president serving a 3rd term, many people feel that something is not right. And the reason some people feel uneasy when Barack Obama's name is mentioned in such debates is that they understand he still holds great influence in the hearts and minds of the public. I know that Barack Obama has repeatedly made it clear that he has no intention of returning to the White House to run for another term. However, if the state of the country truly causes many people to worry, there will certainly always be voices calling on him to step forward once again for what they believe to be the common good of the nation. From that perspective, many people believe that Donald Trump should not continue serving as president for another term. Of course, some will say that this entire debate is purely hypothetical, or that it is almost impossible in practical terms. Even so, when observing what is currently happening in the United States and around the world, many people feel that this is not a topic that can simply be ignored. According to many critics, Donald Trump's first victory was highly controversial, and his re-election has led them to further question the political choices of a segment of American voters. Among them are those who believe that race played a significant role in the voting decisions of some voters. They argue that some people supported Donald Trump mainly because he is white, rather than because of his policies or leadership ability. Some critics also argue that many people placed their hopes in Trump because they believed he would implement tougher policies toward immigrants or minority communities. These views continue to be the subject of intense debate in American society. Meanwhile, many people view Barack Obama as the complete opposite of what they believe Donald Trump and certain power groups represent. To them, Obama symbolizes unity, stability, and a sense of calm, rather than division and confrontation. I have also noticed that more and more people on social media are using their platforms to remind others of the achievements made during Obama's presidency. Quite a few viral videos show people who once opposed him now openly saying that they missed the time when he was in the White House. To be honest, whenever I see that, I find it quite interesting, because many of those people were among Obama's strongest critics throughout his 2 terms. That reminds me of a very familiar saying: people often do not appreciate what they have until it is gone. Many people did not truly value Obama's presidency at the time, nor did they fully acknowledge the accomplishments his administration achieved. For some people, perhaps this stems from long-standing prejudices, or from the belief that a black leader could not govern the country as effectively as a white leader. This is not an easy reality to hear, but it is one that is often mentioned in political discussions. Yet today, more and more white Americans are publicly expressing appreciation for what Obama accomplished. Many also believe that his record surpasses Donald Trump's in certain areas. For that reason, I believe it is very noteworthy to witness the shift in how the public views this issue. When looking at polling data and voter trends, many people believe that Obama would be an extremely strong opponent, even in states traditionally considered Republican strongholds, if such a direct matchup were ever to occur. People often compare their current experiences with what they lived through in the past. And for many, that comparison now appears to favor Obama. For some people, having to admit that this black president is viewed more positively than a white president is not an easy thing to accept. They do not want to face that conclusion, and they often respond with denial or resistance. As a result, political debates continue to become more intense, creating even more tension in public life. We have also seen ongoing discussions about the possibility that Donald Trump could set his sights on the 2028 election. In fact, this is not the first time such messages have appeared. The public has already seen many products, slogans, and promotional materials featuring the words Trump 2028 in recent years. We have seen T-shirts, media images, and many other messages suggesting a campaign that could extend into the future. Many people believe that plans in this direction may have been prepared for quite some time. No matter where each person stands politically, this remains a topic that continues to generate strong and opposing opinions. I truly want to hear your thoughts on this entire story. Please share your perspective in the comments section below. I know some people see this as nothing more than political speculation, while others believe it is an issue that needs to be discussed seriously. Regardless of how you view the matter, I still believe this is a conversation worth having together, so please leave your thoughts below, and let us exchange views, openly and respectfully. If you found today's content useful or interesting, please do not forget to click the like button, and share this video with others who may also be interested in similar topics. Your support helps the channel reach more people, and allows us to continue producing new content in the future. And of course, do not forget to subscribe to the channel so you will not miss our upcoming videos. Thank you for watching, and I look forward to seeing you again in the next program.